in shorts and t-shirts. So the very next day I get a phone call, completely random, and it's Morgan introducing himself and talking about what they're doing. And I said, oh great, I have an event coming up. If you guys can do it, I'll be happy to use you. Well, they did, and I was absolutely impressed. They showed up in proper attire, they were on time, they were able to handle all my random requests, and from that point forward, I just used them pretty much exclusively. I even made them travel with me to several of our locations, due to their fact that I could trust them and I didn't have to worry about watching them or making sure that everything was set up according to plan, so forth. Well, when you do an event, I mean, there's the beginning parts of planning an event, there's the actual event, and then there's the post stuff. There's a lot of moving pieces. And if you can get a company on board that you can take that moving piece and not have to worry about it, it takes that stress away from you. Knowing that I could very easily turn to them and say, hey guys, I know this is not in your job description and anything we talked about, I could really use some additional security. And they do it. That was what was awesome. No questions asked, things along those lines. There have been times where I've called them the morning of and asked for, oh my gosh, I need an extra microphone, do you have it? Not a problem, they took care of it. And we've actually now, after 10 plus years of working with them, I don't even have to sit down with them and go over plans anymore. I tell them my vision and they make it happen. They are an amazing group to work with in terms of budget. I've had budgets as small as $250 to upwards of large numbers, and they've made it work. I even have done stuff with nonprofits where I have to go to them and ask, do you mind donating half of this to the cause, and the other half we take care of. So they are a good value. I value them personally very highly, but they can work with anything, and they have creative solutions to some budget challenge. Had I not discovered Media Solutions, wow, I don't think, number one, I probably would not have a audio-visual company that I use pretty exclusively. There are several companies here in town that are good in certain areas of their expertise. God, I don't know what I would have done if I wouldn't have met Media Solutions. Not only have I got a great business working relationship with them, but they have become really awesome friends and doing, heck, they did all the sound at my wedding eons ago. I don't know where I would be. I mean, I don't think I would be as good of an event person as I am had I not connected with them. So I know I wouldn't be using an exclusive, that's pretty much. When you have a corporate event, particularly like a stockholders meeting, you're really looking to make sure that everybody who is on staff dresses accordingly. It doesn't have to be a suit and tie, but nice slacks, a nice shirt. I'm okay with even a polo shirt with their logo on it, but they do have to be presentable. They may be representing their company, but while they're inside one of my events, they're representing me. Nobody knows if they're a staff of mine or a staff of their own, so I want to make sure that the proper attire is the best foot forward. On a scale of 1 to 10, and innovation 10 being the highest, they're like an 11. I know that both Vinny and Morgan are both constantly searching out the latest and greatest in technology to offer their clients. They also have hired staff that is part of that same kind of mentality, let's find the latest and greatest. So, well, Media Solutions has done obviously corporate events, weddings, fashion shows, conferences. They've done it all. They've done lighting, draping, you name it. So they understand the ins and outs of an event. They know what it takes to make sure those bodies are in the seat and make sure that those people are happy while they're there and that they want to come back to the next event. So they are really good at knowing bottom up and top down. Beginning, when I first started working with them, they were always my first call. Hey, I'm going to start this event. I need to come up with something. Now, sometimes it's like 3 days before, and I remember, and I call and go, hey, did I book this? And they're like, yes, you did. You're fine. They're a major part of the beginning planning process. I'm doing a couple events coming up, one with a former 49er football fan, football player, and they were my first phone call. Hey guys, I'm bringing this guy in for a keynote. I got to make sure we're covered. Give me the plan. And they had it. So, and it was a venue I haven't worked with before, so they already had, so they were able to give me all of the requirements for sound, staging, draping, all of those things. Particularly when you come to sound, lighting, audio, visual, all that stuff, you really need to be in the background. The last thing you want is your audience to know that there's a bunch of sound guys walking around or the video guys are walking around. I call them the secret service, essentially, of an event. They are hidden but in view. And so I know they're there. The audience doesn't know they're there, which is awesome. They're really good at that. One of the other really great things about working with Media Solutions is they know the venues here locally as well as outside of our area. And so they understand the sound challenges that happen at specific venues and are able to make the plan work. Yesterday's event that we did, there were 3,500 women at a conference, and it is the most echoey room I have ever been in my life. And I sat at the front and I've sat at the back, and I've never had that echo. So they understand where their speakers need to go and sound production and stuff. They say you're only as good as the last thing you've done. And I have not had any experience with any event, and particularly ones that I've done with Media Solutions where I've had bad experiences. I always get constructive criticism is what I call it. Oh, you could have had another person at the front desk checking people in, or you could have had another light on the stage, but never anything about the sound quality, the video quality, the setup. So that's always been a really a big positive. And I don't think I've even attended an event that they've done that I haven't personally put on where we've had bad experiences. I mean, they're just on it. So, but yeah, it is my reputation, and I'm only as good as the last thing I've done. And so I want to make sure that the people I work with are just as good. And I hold all of my vendors to a pretty high standard. And I kind of use my Media Solutions group as my benchmark. You know, you guys got to be up here because this is where I'm used to working. So we've done things in our local convention center. We've done things in 100-year-old buildings. We've done things in empty storefronts. We've done outside events. We did a fashion show one year on the second story of a parking structure in the middle of August. And if you've ever lived in California in the middle of August in the valley, it's 115 degrees on the second story of an uncovered parking structure with blacktop. They actually were the ones I worked with to get our portable AC units and all of those things. And that show actually, in the middle of the show at 115 degrees, fried everything, power went out, and they were on it. I mean, we were back up within 5 minutes. I got on stage and shared with the audience, wow, the fashions here are so hot, it's killed the generator. But they did it. I didn't even have to get on my headpiece and tell them, oh my gosh, guys, what happened to the power? They were just on it. So we have worked in all kinds of things. We were even in a haunted hotel down south for something. So we tried a paranormal activity on that, and then we didn't find anything.